But number one, to get myself into state, I focus on things that I love, or people that I love, or a pet that I love. Something that evokes the connection to love. Prime that feeling. Why? Because love is the opposite of fear, and love brings purpose, right? We want to anchor to purpose. Why am I doing what I am doing? So wherever you find that love, begin to work through it there, and begin to expand that sense of love. Now, as I'm using this word love, I fully recognize that some of you are like, what in the fuck? That word is like very detached from your reality in one way or the other. And that's okay. Just try to play around with it, okay? Love doesn't resonate with you. The next step is to find gratitude. I like starting with love, but then I move to gratitude. You can say love and compassion if compassion is a better word for you. Then I move to gratitude. And you can kind of figure out your state just by how quickly you can find gratitude in your life. Right? For some of us, we can find gratitude immediately. Others, we're like, I'm not going to fucking do it. There's nothing to be grateful for. So sometimes you got to start super macro. I'm grateful to be alive. Grateful to have all four of my limbs. I'm grateful I can see. Right? I'm grateful that I live in the world. I live in the United States. I live in Orange County. Start where you can start. Go far back as you have to before you can finally go, okay, I'm grateful for that. And then scale it down. But try to be as specific as possible. And I would try to be specific about specific areas of your life. I'm grateful for these things in my personal life. I'm grateful for these things in my business life. The reason is gratitude as an energy is a supercharger for creation. It puts us in a creative state and a potentiate state, which is what you want. And I've yet to see anybody, for all intents and purposes, I've yet to see somebody be grateful and angry, or grateful and depressed. Grateful and anxious. Those two things don't seem to coexist. There are variations of anger in which it could. We'll say for this purpose, righteous anger, but that word gets so abused that but in the intention to be accurate, anger and gratitude could coexist, but in a way that most people don't have an association with anger. So gratitude gives us, it like primes the pump for potentiation creation. So you spend a few minutes on love, transition to gratitude, and then from that position of potential, this is where you have the power now or the strength to deal with unresolved issues in your life. Okay? Unresolved issues really around forgiveness. It could be forgiving yourself, it could be forgiving other people, but it's clearing your chakras, really, your channel, where you conduct energy from. And we hold energy, right? We know this from a scientific standpoint. We hold energy in different energy centers in our body. And forgiveness very often blocks this energy. And so you can sit from this place of gratitude and then do the work. Is there anyone I need to forgive? Where am I holding on to resentment? Where am I holding on to anger towards others? This fucking matters, which is why I'm talking about it. For some of you, this is like, or I don't want to hear this, or that's some bullshit. Yeah, go test it for yourself. Unforgiveness eats away at you. And a lot of times we think when we don't forgive someone, we're punishing them. Well, no, they're not being fucking punished at all by your unforgiveness. You're being punished from your unforgiveness. Why the fuck would you self-inflict that kind of wound? Okay? So for a lot of you, or some of you perhaps, there are some very deep wounds that you're not going to just sit down in one little meditation session, the shit's just going to clear. Right? It may not. In fact, you may, it's like, I got to deal with this issue with my dad or my mom or my brother, and that's just too much. Okay, great. Don't start there. Go find something simple. Get that muscle primed. Forgive somebody. Forgive the guy who fucking cut you off yesterday. Right? Or find something where you can exercise the muscle of forgiveness and feel the release. And you know it's done because you'll literally feel this like cracking open or this like it just releases. And you just let it go. You let it go. Now come back to it over and over again, and still, so you can start chipping away at those walls of unforgiveness and those wounds towards the people that have hurt us the most. By the way, you don't show up in humanity and not have these wounds. It's part of the work. But forgiveness is holding us back. Unforgiveness is holding us back. So this is the work. This is why we do it. And those areas in which we have not let go and we hold judgment towards others, that which judges is judged. That which you judge judges you back. Whew! That's more than I want to fucking bear. You guys with me so far? So that's your first 3 steps right there. That's just to get this shit primed. right? And you get the work and you let it go. And when we don't let go of forgiveness, or we don't let go of shit that people have done to us, it starts to inform our story and our reality. Right? Simple one. Anybody ever been in a really shitty relationship? Get out of it, not heal, and then go into another relationship, take that story into the next relationship, and now you're treating that person like the other person? No? Yeah, you have. Everyone has. Number 4 is your vision for the future. Now, the reason why step 4 is vision for future, not number 1, is we want to get our state done first. Because if our state isn't clear before we get to vision of our future, our story, what's going to happen? That's not going to be a fun vision. Or even if it is meant to be a positive one, you're just not going to feel it. You're like, I'm not fucking getting there. And I can see this in people's energy. Now, you may have a story about what you want. It's just either negative or weak. So we want to prime the pump, get our state right first, then we can move into our vision of the future and get clear about the future you want. What world am I trying to create? What is my vision for my life? And start where you are. It's like, fuck, I don't know. Great. We'll start with what you do know. So, do know, my experience has been, everybody cares about the big 3. What are the big 3? I care about being physically healthy. That's a good vision. I care about being financially free. That's a good vision. And I care about having healthy relationships. That's a good vision. So it may not be very detailed in the beginning. You may not know all the aspects of what you want, and that's fine. You're in process. But then focus on the big 3. But get clear about what that looks like.